Well, guys and girls, it's this time of the year again. It's championship time. And if you guys are not from Ontario, championship time is the Thrill Show Championships. There's plenty of companies here in Ontario like Impact Motorsports, Ontario Demolition Derby, Edge, Thrill Show, even others, and lots of local fair boards. But there is really only one championship, and that's Thrill Show. They call it the Ontario Championships. It is one of the biggest, hardest to win derbies that there is, and I've never won it. I think the best I've ever come was 6th place, and that was 6 years ago, and that was actually in a Grand Am, an old 95 Grand Am. But we're here today to talk about this Camry going there. I've been working on it for about a month after work, and it's been coming along very well. Now, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot done to this thing. Pretty much it's just stripped. I've got half the dash wiring out, half of it still in. Got some threaded rods in the back, but not completed. As you can see, it's not done yet. Door's still all open and closed, no problem on it. I haven't got a whole lot done with it, and I'm actually falling behind because it is in 2 weeks. What I have done is I've pushed a couple rules. That is a giant plate in front of this motor. I found a spot in their rules, and I'm going to try to push it as far as I can. Now, some of you guys say that might be cheating. I don't consider this cheating. I consider pushing the gray. And you know what? You guys really do have to push the gray to be able to compete at big shows. And I'm trying to push the gray. It says I'm allowed an engine component protector. Can be connected to engine or transmission. Cannot connect to body, frame, or sheet metal in any way. So this here is a giant piece of steel, and I've put it in front of my engine. It's not connected to the motor mounts, and to be honest, I consider my engine to be a very large component of the car. So this here is hopefully going to protect my component. You think it's going to pass? Honestly, I think tech's going to be pretty damn hard for me this year. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. Now, I'm at the same spot I was last year, and last year, I'll show you the spot I was at. So the spot I was at last year was Cannibal. Believe it or not, this is Cannibal. It's been around the block and doesn't look the same. It's got a different paint job because I lent it out. But this is Cannibal. This had my full Pro cage in it, and I had to take my cage out of this car while it was still running and driving. Now this year, this car has actually been driven 3 more times, so yeah. I wanted to get rid of this car last fall, but yet it still sat here. Do you get where I'm going with this? I think you guys are starting to know where I'm going with this. This car is my Pro car from Thrill Show Rockton. Well, not Pro car, but this was my Rockton car last year. And it's still alive this year. It ran Rockton, it ran Schaumburg, it ran Orangeville, Brampton, Bolton. And believe it or not, it's actually still a really good car. It doesn't look very good, but this car is still good. I hate taking apart a car that still runs and drives. And this car still runs and drives. Yes, the front bumper is really tall, and yes, the motors kind of came over top of the firewall into the wiper cowl. But you know what? It still runs, and it still drives. And the last derby this car was in, it laid a whooping on a whole bunch of cars. But, like I said, I'm in the same predicament I was last year. And that is, I have to take the cage out of this car today to be able to put it in my car for this year. So we're going to start taking this apart. Something tells me that this back window bar is not going to be very nice to take out of this car. Oh, you know what? Never mind. That might be the bolts for it right there. Yes, it might not be that bad at all. Nope, that's a different bolt. Don't worry about that one then. Oh, maybe the torch might come out for this. But we're going to start disassembling this cage and pretty much just taking it straight from this car and putting it into that car and getting it ready. Lots of stuff have to come out of this. I want to run, actually, you know what, all these buttons suck. You know, these are all just cheap Amazon, and look at, I can't even put that button up anymore. Ugh, that button's garbage, but this one's fine. So, yeah. Some buttons are crap. Toggle switches are crap. But basically what I want is I want this cage, this shifter, fire extinguisher, gas tank, maybe battery box, maybe. I'm not going to guarantee that one yet. I want all of it out of this car into that car. So we're going to start tearing this thing apart and start putting into that one. So that's my goal for tonight. It looks like it's starting to rain, so we'll see if I can film this or not. I got all the parts out, some of them are in the garage and stuff, but I've taken a completely good derby car and torn it apart. Oh, maybe not completely good, but a running, driving derby car I've taken apart. Now we're going to take all this and go put it inside the car in the shop so it can actually look like a derby car, and I feel like I'm actually getting ready because, let's face it, this date is coming up quick and I'm late for a very important date. So let's get building and swap this cage out into the other car. Last night I was putting the cage in this, everything was going great, and then I had a couple buddies come over. I turned the camera off because we went up to the house for a bit, and then I came back and forgot to turn the camera on. So the cage is actually fully in the car. The only thing I got left to do is I have one down bar on my driver's door bar. The one place didn't let me reinforce the car, and I argued that was safety, and honestly I think that's safety because that is right by where my leg is inside the car. So needless to say, we have the cage fully inside the car. We got just probably 2 more holes to drill with some 3/8 hardware. According to the rules, where I built this cage, it must be 4 inches away. It is about 4 inches away, so it's pretty much where she's got to be. So now what we can do is we can start throwing in our stuff, like our gas tank, our fuel lines, our fire extinguisher, and basically just going from there. Some other stuff that I want to get into today is the shifter. I also want to get those holes drilled and maybe some electrical. I want to get my window bar on this. Now I do want to run my Joshua Archambault window bar. I kind of want to run my Joshua Archambault header. We'll see. This one here is one of his first headers, but it's had a little bit of a rough go. But no, Josh is my friend. He started up his business of building headers and window bars and other custom pieces, so I'd like to support him at the local events, especially the ones he's going to. So that'd be nice. But we got a lot of work to do on this car today, but I think that's going to be the end of this video because the cage is in. Car's getting farther and farther. It's actually starting to look like a derby car. Now it's got a motor in, suspension on. Holy, someone really wants to get a hold of me. Don't worry about it though. And now it's got the cage in. But the next time we will be definitely filling up the interior with this with interior pieces. So thanks for watching, boys and girls, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Take care.